what happens in books is we tend to get a bit messy and a bit overexcited, and we just feel we have to be writerly and throw it all in there. So we have to have crappy cliches, we have to have all the messy metaphors in there. Okay, so these are my rules, general rules for metaphors and cliches, which is one metaphor for the book. If you're going to have a metaphor, and metaphors are fab, there's absolute definite use for it, but just have one metaphor for the whole book, especially for the shorter books, because I had one client who had a metaphor which was to do with boats and golf, and like my brain had people golfing on a boat, because I make pictures. When you tell me a metaphor, I'll draw that picture in my mind. So if that's what you want to do, if you want to merge metaphors, great. If you want to put really weird ideas in people's minds, do that. But in general, you don't want to do that, because you don't want to make it too confusing. So if you're going to use a metaphor, have one metaphor for the whole book. So like, is it about boats, you know, direction and anchors and all of that? Or is it about rooms in a house? What's the metaphor? But one metaphor, not multiple. One metaphor for the chapter. So I prefer one metaphor for the book, and I prefer that metaphor to be taken through the chapter, so that I like the idea of building the metaphor, so the metaphor gets brighter and bigger and stronger and more varied and layered. So I prefer taking the metaphor through each of the chapters. So if you've got a metaphor, build it through the chapters. Don't just throw it in at the beginning and then never come back to it, or throw it in the title and never come back to it. Build it through the chapters, and then you plant that idea, and whenever they think about whatever your metaphor was, they connect to you, like cleaning your teeth and connected to ring to. A story for another day. Okay. Analogies or similes should also be on theme. Don't just keep zipping off and adding new things in. And like, remember, people who are very visual will turn your words into a picture in the head, which is what you want them to do. And if you make the picture accidentally too complicated, then you lose the value of the metaphor. If you're making a picture deliberately complicated to make a point, then that's fab, but make sure you're doing it on purpose.